Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Charul, your job search coach, and I wish you all a very happy new year. And for all those who have started taking their job search seriously and watched my last video where I told you how you can get started with your job search, congratulations. Getting started is actually half done. But hey, don't start applying on job portals or on LinkedIn using Easy Apply or with the random CV or resume that you copy pasted from ChatGPT or other AI tools. See, I'm not saying that you should not use AI tools or ChatGPT to write your resume. What I'm saying is, please use them. Please use them for the love of God, but make sure you're able to humanize what you are taking from the ChatGPT or any other AI tool, and you're able to put forward something that is different from the other resumes. Because if everyone is using a ChatGPT resume, how will you stand out? Now you will very easily be able to write your own resume if you're watching this video till the end. First things first. Now, whenever you're writing your resume, the first thing that you'll notice is a profile summary. But a lot of you make this mistake where instead of a profile summary, you start with an objective statement. Please don't start your resume with an objective statement. See, the purpose of a resume is to make sure that the recruiter or whoever is hiring for that role, they know what you have done in the past and they can understand if you'll fit well in their role as well. But if you're writing an objective statement, what you're doing is you're telling them what you are looking for. Like, I want to work for this company or I want to work for this role. They are not interested in knowing what you are looking for. Rather, they want to know what you have done previously that will fit their role as well. So, you just need to summarize your past work and make sure that you present it in a way that aligns well with the role that they are hiring for. Now, after you've written a profile summary, I want you to position your key skills at the right place. See, whenever a recruiter or hiring manager is going through your resume, they are actually looking at this F that's on your resume. So make sure you highlight all your key skills in a way that it comes across in this F format. Now, whenever you're writing these key skills, they should not just be soft skills, and also they should be in alignment with the job description or the role that you're applying to. You can change with every job that you're applying to, or you can just look at a couple of CVs or a couple of job descriptions as well to understand what skills or what technical skills syncs well with your profile. Make sure these keywords are not just for the ATS but also for the hiring managers and recruiters to know what technical skills you are good at. But why am I saying that you should not write a lot of soft skills like detailed oriented or hardworking in your resume? Because who is not hardworking or detail oriented? Everyone would be writing the same exact soft skills in the resume and you will not be able to stand out. Plus, these soft skills like detailed oriented, hardworking or team player, these are the soft skills that any recruiter or hiring manager try to assess in the interview stage. And they will try to assess this with cases or situational questions. In your resume, you need to make sure all your technical skills are covered. And why is that? Because your resume needs to satisfy three types of audiences. The first audience is the ATS or the applicant tracking system, which all the recruiters or hiring managers are using these days. So an ATS just helps the recruiter or the hiring manager to screen or shortlist at the first level. So you need to make sure that your resume has all the relevant keywords that are in sync with the job description so that it is able to pass your first set of audience, that is the ATS. Now, it should not be just for the ATS. The second thing that you need to take care of, or the second type of audience you need to take care of, are your recruiters. These are the people who would be shortlisting your resume after it has gone through the ATS. And what they actually try to assess in your resume is if you've actually done the work that they are also looking for in the next role. If you're able to satisfy them as well, then your resume comes to the third audience, which is the hiring managers. These are the team leaders or the teammates who are looking at your resume and you'd be working in their team. Now they would be very critical of your resume and they will try to understand the impact you were able to create in your last role. They don't care about your resume being in sync with the the job description or the current role, but they also want to see if you are able to create impact, deliver results in your last role as well. So make sure your resume satisfies all these three audience, and it's not just for the ATS. After the objective statement, a lot of you make this mistake where you start with your education section instead of your work experience section. This is a complete no. Even if you've just graduated and that is your most recent thing that you have done, please don't add your education above your work experience. See, whenever a hiring manager or recruiter are going through your resume, they want to see the actual work that you have done in the past, and the work experience, the internships, volunteer experience, all these, whatever you have actually done will give them a clear picture, not your education section. Even if you have scored 95%, 93%, whatever, don't make it the highlight of your resume. The highlight should always be the work that you have done, the experience that you have gained. Now, a lot of you makes this mistake where you use metrics in your pointers. I'm not saying you don't use metrics. Definitely use metrics, but understand this. Recruiters are very smart these days and they can understand if you're trying to fake those numbers or not. Metrics or numbers or percentages actually show your impact or what numbers you were able to bring on the table in your last role. Now, if you're just faking the numbers, it will be very evident to the recruiter or hiring manager, or even in your interview stage, you'll not be able to kind of explain those numbers. My suggestion to you is you can easily work on your numbers yourself. And how do you do that? Just go through your KPIs in your last role. What were you working on? What projects? I'll just give you an example of my role. If I was a recruiter and I was taking care of 15 roles at a time, I can make sure that I write that in my resume in a way that shows that I was able to handle 15 roles at a time and I was able to close, say, 50% of those roles within a particular TAT or turnaround time. So just make sure you're studying your work or your KPIs and putting the numbers which are real. Here are some examples that you can use to frame your sentences. Just make sure that you start with an action verb and show impact using these numbers, and you'd be good to go. And don't worry about the grammar and the way you need to write these resume pointers. Once you have your data in hand, you can easily take help from ChatGPT or any other AI tool to write complete sentences that are ATS-friendly also and that looks good on your CV. Just the impact that you created or the work that you have been done would be better if you write it in your own language first and then you take help from AI to kind of restructure it and present in a better way. Once you're done with all these pointers, you'd have a blueprint sort of resume in front of you. But here is another thing that you cannot miss. A lot of you don't, notice it, but when recruiters or hiring managers are going through your resume, they take care of such small things as well. Look at what he has to say about it.
CVs पे typo आता है ना, 2 सेकंड में left swipe होते हैं CV.
I hope you got what I'm trying to say. If you don't take care of typos or formatting, you are actually doing more harm than good. See, I understand that, the work that you have done, the impact that you've created speaks more than the, how the resume looks. But the first thing that a recruiter will see would be your resume formatting. And if that's not right, because they'll just look at your resume for 6 seconds or max 10 seconds. If you're not able to give an impression of a perfectionist or someone who takes into account little things, you will miss out on getting a call from them. So make sure that you look at all the formatting errors or all the typos after editing or after writing all the pointers at one place. If you are confused about the font or font size, my recommendation, you can use Calibri, Arial, Times New Roman. Just make sure it's easy to understand, a basic simple black font on white paper, no colors, no pictures, no even just don't write your address or your like a lot of personal information, because that will just get you discriminated. You just need to mention your email address and your phone number on the top right below your name, and that would be it. And the last part could be your certifications or your extracurricular activity. Just make sure that your certifications are in sync with the profile that you're applying for, and your extracurriculars also show your personality but is actually, syncs or is actually making sense with the role that you're applying to. That's about it. You don't need to include anything else that's pure clutter. Just one page for 5 or less years of experience, and more than one page, like 2-page max, for 5+ years of experience. And don't forget to add your LinkedIn at the top, and it should be a URL so that you can take that recruiter or that hiring manager to your LinkedIn profile and show what you're actually doing in your current role. Now, once your resume is ready, don't make the mistake of using the very same resume for all the roles that you're applying to. You need to understand that every role requires a tailored resume. I understand that you'll not be able, if you're applying to say 30 jobs or 20 jobs in a day, you'll not be able to make 30 or 20 resumes. But what you can do instead is, for example, you can make like 3 different resumes. Just need to format the key skills or the impacts or highlight specific skills for specific resume, and whichever syncs well with the job description, use that resume for that particular job description. There would be time when a job description would have a similar keyword. You've done a similar job, but you're not using the exact keyword that's there in the job description. In that case, your resume might get rejected because the ATS is not smart enough to understand if those 2 keywords are the same thing or not. My suggestion is, whenever you are going to apply to any role, read the job description in detail, understand the must-haves for that role, pick the exact keywords from that job description and see if it's in your resume. If it's not, put that in and then apply for the job. If you're doing all of this and you're satisfying all these 3 audiences, that is the ATS, the recruiter, as well as the hiring manager, I am sure you'll be getting shortlisted for that next interview. Also, I'm adding the exact resume template that I use in the description. You can use that to write your own resume, but make sure that you are covering all the pointers that I just mentioned. Once you're done with tailoring your resume, we'll move to the next step, which is optimizing your LinkedIn. I'll be covering that in the next part. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.